My name is Revel, and my middle name's Lucien. On the stage, I go by Revolution, and I'm a drag queen, baby. After no longer attending NAU, I had to really kind of put my foot in the door and make a space wherever it was. Friends having a concert, can I lip sync while you're singing live in the back? They're reading stories at Bookman's. Can I read a story to kids in drag? I said, wherever they're gonna have me, I'm going to ask to be there and give a show. And when everything shut down, that's when I took it to the streets and said, it's gonna be me, my bicycle, and someone's driveway, and we're gonna have a show. These things about me are not celebrated. The funny way I walk, or my lisp, or the way I look, but here, together in this space, it's celebrated. And all those things that you were othered for, that made, that other people made you feel different or weird about, I want to create a space where we can celebrate that.
I started working on an EP, like an album of 5 songs of my original songs, and I started writing those original songs when I was about 12 years old.
If I knew it was the end, I would have kissed you longer.
I ended up being able to finish last year and coming into this year. High school definitely has a big influence on everything that I make, because I started writing at such a young age, you kind of see the evolution of my mind. The overwhelming support from friends and from just Flagstaff in general, being able to get me gigs. I mean, when I opened up for Andy Grammer, it was like, Andy freaking Grammer, man. I'm not famous or anything. That's crazy. But it was the community who did that for me, I'm finally getting it, I'm finally getting to a place where I can be proud of what I'm putting out, that I can, be happy that my mom posts it on her Instagram without telling me.
Riad she TYRRELL TAPAHA nishe, Kazathlana nishle, Bedatni Bashishchi, Ado Nakaidane Dashin Nale, Kodo Disnas Baste Nasha, Ado Kinslana Day Shinanish. Typically, what I try to do in my work is encompass a lot of pastoral lifeways that have been passed down through my family. I'm a 6th-generation weaver, so I source all of my fiber from my family's flock out in Tisnaspas, and I use native flora and fauna within southern Utah and Arizona for dyes. I think that's something that gets lost in my work. The end product is probably only 10 to 20% of the actual work that is done behind that. But the more I find out about weaving and how that world is just interconnected, the more I find out about myself. And I would very much like to see this work develop not only in my life, but as well as just overall in my people and just general art community. Fiber has a lot to offer. It's done humanity great things for thousands of years, and I love to create opportunities for other people like myself.
So in August of 2020, I released an album called Breathing In, Breathing Out. I recorded it here in Flagstaff at Lower Audio Provisions. Some of those songs are 4 years old, and some I wrote a month before we ended up recording them. Yeah, they're just kind of a series of, reflections and experiences of breakups or hikes or just coming to Flagstaff for the first time. They're just kind of my way of processing my own emotions and storytelling in that way as well. Whenever everything was finished and I heard it all together, I was just really surprised that I could make something like that. Once I decided to own up to wanting to do music for real, I had to just kind of really kind of shove myself into that.
I grew up in Wyoming, spending a lot of time outside, and I also spent a lot of time painting. I've always painted. I've gone through a lot of styles, but as I got older, my passion for environmentalism grew, and so painting animals kind of became an outlet for me to pursue my passion in the environment, and also an outlet for conservation. My work still to this day kind of centers around the animals I grew up seeing in Wyoming, but also the animals that I get to work with today in my field. Art is a universal language that a lot of people are interested in and a lot of people can get excited about, no matter their age or their background. Might be able to bring attention to some of the environmental issues that we're currently facing.